Hi there, my name is Mike, and today I'll be teaching you everything you need to know to get started with media queries. Media queries are super useful for targeting specific CSS towards specific devices. So for mobile phones, if you want to have a different CSS setup than you do for your desktops, that allows you to have a responsive website design, which is amazing and a super useful skill that you can add onto your resume. So to get started, I've got this little website here, which is just a title and a description. Nothing too crazy, but you can see as it moves within devices. To get this view, by the way, I just did an inspect element, and then I clicked right here on this little toggle device toolbar button. Looks like the shortcut for that is Control-Shift-M, but you can just click the button as well. And then I'm able to drag and size the website size. And then I can see at the top the width, which is super helpful for making these media queries. So anyway, I'll teach you guys the syntax for the media queries before, and then I'll show you how I can fill that in for different devices and different sizes. So the media query syntax is @media, and then you say the media type, and you define if you're talking about only that media type or not that media type. So you would say not or only the media type. And then you say and then you can define a particular media type or media feature. So you could have lots of media types like this, and then media features. And you want to put those in parentheses typically. And then you do an open bracket, and then you put whatever CSS you want to apply to that. Now, if that looks confusing, that's because it is. And most of the time, you don't really have these long not only and things. Normally, you actually just have a media feature if you're doing responsive design. But I'll teach you everything anyway. So an example of a media type would be a screen. Now, that might seem a little bit obvious, like if you're making a website, you're looking on a screen. But that's not necessarily the case. So if we were to say only screen, and just get rid of the media features for now, and then I'll include some CSS, but instead we'll make the color blue. You can see that on the screen here, the color is blue. No matter the size, no matter the shape or anything, the color is blue. But if I were to go and print this website, you would see that the color would be red, because if you're printing something out on paper, it's not a screen. So like if you had like a newspaper, for example, this would be super useful if you wanted your website to look different on a newspaper. But anyway, this is pretty rarely used. Typically, you don't worry too much about that when making websites. The real useful one is this media feature. So what you can do is say, for example, if I wanted to only include this blue text on a phone, I could say max width. And then I can define a maximum width that the text is blue. So let's say a phone is at 500 pixels, 530 pixels. We just type in 530 pixels. And then we can see that at 527 pixels, it's blue. But when we go to a larger device, then it turns red. So you can imagine all the potential use cases for this. Like if you had a different kind of widget for your menu bar and you had different styles for different kinds of menu bars, you could include this with media queries. You could have different styles for different devices. Another thing you can do if you want to work the opposite way, and typically you want to do it this way, where you work for mobile first, and then for larger devices, you have different things. So if I said min width, 530 pixels, then you can see that after 530 pixels, it's blue. But if I shrink it down, then it's red. And the last thing I'd like to note is that these media queries have to come after the CSS that they're trying to change. So if I were to put the same media query up above the title and the description, just like this, then no matter what size, it's still red. The media query doesn't work if it's before the text, because this here overwrites everything inside the media query. So that's just the last thing that you want to make sure to remember when you're writing your media queries. Yeah, now you know pretty much everything you need to know about media queries to get started and to be comfortable with it. Obviously, there's a little bit more in-depth things about media queries. There's different kinds of media features that can be used inside these parentheses here. But this is typically all that you really need to know to get started, especially with responsive web design. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, please do like, subscribe, or comment. Any questions, just feel free to put them in the comment section below. I'll get to those. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.